Hi, guys, and welcome back. This is Evolve with Michelle. Life Evolve with Michelle. I want to welcome you guys back, and I am here to do a quick video on, I've been in Panama now for 9 months, and I wanted to do a review of my living in Panama and the experiences that I've had, the pros and cons of living here, and if there's anything I would change or do differently since I've been here for 9 months now. I feel like now is a good time. I can give a honest review, give you some of my experience. So if this is information you want to hear, please stay tuned because I have that coming up right after this. Well, welcome to Life Evolve with Michelle, where change comes one evolution at a time. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, first, let's talk a little bit about the pros of living in Panama. So, the number one pro, in my opinion, is cost. Okay, so living in Panama for 9 months so far, I can say significantly the cost of rent, food, transportation, and any other services that you might want, massage, nail care, hair care, all those things are significantly less than the United States of America. So, in that aspect, your cost is significantly lower. Now, depending on how you came over and what your finance situation is, for me, I'm retired, so I'm on a fixed income. So, with that being said, my fixed income is enough to allow me the ability to pay rent, to still do some of the things that I want to do, and still live comfortably. I mean, I don't have to be extreme, or I can be extreme. I can afford to live small. I can afford to live large. It just depends on what's your standard and what kind of money you have coming in. Even services like home cleaning, like in the States, I never had someone to come and clean my home. First of all, it was expensive, and second of all, I just kind of did it myself. In Panama, it's kind of like a standard thing here. You have someone come and clean for you, and it really is very, very inexpensive. For someone to clean my apartment, I just have a two-bedroom apartment. It's $35. And so I'm talking about top to bottom clean. So that is a significant reduction in cost as well if you just want some of the luxuries. I mean, of course, if you want to clean yourself, that's extra money that you can have for yourself. Eating out, now eating out is cheaper, but it also depends on what you're doing. So if you're going out to drink with your friends, or you're going to like a lot of these rooftop restaurants, it's going to be a little bit more pricey, but you can eat out reasonably. They have fondas here, so eating out is very affordable. Fondas are like the little mom and pop shops kind of that you can go and get food. Like most of the time, those are open in the afternoons, early afternoon, late afternoon for lunches. But then for even for dinners, if when you're going out to dinner, it is significantly cheaper to eat out here. Now, the cost of food could take you for a grip if you are extreme with it. However, I find that it's very affordable, fondas and what they are. So I did mention the fondas were like a mom and pop type deal where you can go and get like baked fish, baked chicken, fried fish, local type foods. And for example, we went and got fonda yesterday for me and my husband. We got two plates. I'm talking about they give you those full dinner to go plates with rice. You get peas, or you can get kidney beans, whatever type of beans you like. You get a protein, which is either chicken, fish, or whatever kind of meat they have, and a vegetable. And we got two plates and two drinks, and it was $13. So that's kind of what I'm saying about the Fonda. That's what the costs are. They have local restaurants that are not as expensive as rooftops, so you can eat at a reasonable price. And of course, if you cook yourself, it's even cheaper. If you go to the market and you buy fresh vegetables and fresh meat, it's even cheaper. So the cost of food is significantly cheaper. And one of the other pros for me is the weather. Some people do not like hot weather all the time, but I do. I do not miss the cold. I was in Georgia most recently and was in New Jersey as a child. And so I remember what it's like for cold winters. Like now it's pretty cold in Georgia. I think they have an ice freeze coming up. And I do not miss that. I do like being in a more stable climate where I know I'm not really going to need a coat, boots, and things like that. So, I think with the warmer weather as well, it just encourages you to be more active. Like you just have more avenues to get out and not stay closed in. So it gives you a different lifestyle. You can definitely be more active, more outside, more sun. And then also being around the sea is a plus for me. I like just the sound of the ocean, just the relaxedness of it, just feeling that mood of the water around me. It is a pro for me. Um, of course, with the seasons, we have the rainy season, and that is not my particular favorite season, but it's not bad. It's just it rains more often, and you kind of have to predict your what you do. You kind of the rain is more predictable here, for the most part in rainy season. It comes early morning, early afternoon, and so you kind of plan your day around it. But it's really not bad, the rainy season. So that is a pro, the weather. Okay, so the next pro we're going to talk about is healthcare. Oh my God, I was so afraid to lose my US healthcare or not have my US healthcare. Before I moved to Panama, I was working with the VA as a nurse. So I had Blue Cross Blue Shield federal insurance, which was very expensive for me and my husband, just us two. I was paying about $750 a month just for that insurance. And I mean, if you guys live in the States, so even if you have insurance, when you go to your doctor's office, you're paying a copay. And then also, once you've already been seen, very seldom does the insurance cover everything. So you're receiving a bill for services that you got that day, along with whatever medications that you might need that maybe your insurance does not pay for. So a pro here is access to health care. Um, the healthcare here, I have an insurance plan here I purchased through Panama, and they have different plans for different levels. But my plan is so inexpensive, and I have excellent care. Just recently, I went on a cruise not too long ago, and I had some issues with my knee. My knee, because I bodybuild, I have a lot. Sometimes I have joint problems with my knee, and so I was having a lot of pain with my knee. I came back, I went to my primary care doctor here, and I told him about my knee. So immediately he sent me for an X-ray. The way they do things is a lot different from the states. So he wrote me a prescription for an X-ray. He also gave me an injection for, I think it was a steroid injection and a pain injection to reduce the pain in my knee, which worked really well. He gave me a prescription for X-ray. So the very next day, I get my insurance through a hospital here, Santa Fe Hospital, and I walked into the hospital with my prescription. Within 5 minutes, they had me with my X-ray, with my insurance. My X-ray was $7, and then once they got finished with my X-ray, about 20 minutes later, those X-ray scans was on my phone, and I had access to them right then. So I was able to get them to my primary care doctor, who uh, was waiting for them to be read. And so it's just a faster process, and the cost is more cost efficient. Now, this is just uh, minor things. If you have some major things, I'm not really sure how that would go. Like if you had a serious illness like cancer or something like that, I'm sure the whole process would be different. But if you're significantly healthy and you just have like a few chronic conditions like I do, then it's very affordable. Your out of pocket cost is so inexpensive. It's just unbelievable. And then your medications, like you really don't need a prescription for your blood pressure medicines. You can actually go to the pharmacy and just pick them up. I mean, your doctor will tell you what you need here and then just send you to the pharmacy. And the medications are so very inexpensive. I just can't even express how satisfied I am with the healthcare system so far. Another pro is the visa process, which is the Pensionata visa process, which that's the process I came in on, the visa that I came in on. They have several visas, but that's just the one that I qualify for, and it's the easiest, right? So with that process, they roll out so many different savings for you, and part of the savings is for your medication, for your doctor's visits, for any bill that you have, you get discounts on. So along with your health care, you also get that Pensionata visa benefit. So that is another pro. What I also find is that, I was kind of a little intimidated by coming here just because I don't speak the language. There is a lot for me to learn here, and there is such a large expat community here from everywhere that it makes your transition so much easier. So I find that the mix of expats and local Panamanians make your experience more attainable and more enjoyable. I'm not going to say that sometimes language can be a challenge, because we all know it can be. But with the community growing the way it is and so many people leaving the US, it is very easy to kind of assimilate over here into their culture. So that is some of the pros of living in Panama. And I must say, those are some big pros for me. So um, next we'll get into the cons, and let's get into it. All right, guys. So the cons of living in Panama. So I'm looking down because I have some notes right here. So one con is, and it also can be a plus for certain people, but it's the weather, because it gets very humid here and it gets hot and steamy here. So you really, if you're used to hot areas like Georgia and Florida, it may be okay for you, but it is hot and humid, and especially during the rainy season. So what I've noticed is that because it's so hot here, being from the US, my body has not yet been accustomed to the type of heat that we have here. So I sweat a lot. So I stay active anyway. So I'm a sweater in the gym. But what can happen if you're like going out somewhere, or you wear makeup, or your hair is pressed? Sometimes that humidity and heat, that can be a point of where it could be a deal breaker for some people, because it's just hard to deal with it at first. Once you start dealing with it, you get used to it, you can deal with it. But at first it's hard because you're always sweating no matter where you go. So you have a tendency to I have a tendency to look for things that are easy or that are sweat resistant now. So I wear a lot of active wear, but if I was one of those people that like to dress up a lot, it would really probably be challenging for me at first, because I would have to get used to my body sweating and dressing the way I like to dress. So, and if I don't wear makeup, not really, but that would be an issue if you wore makeup and you got your face all beat and then you're sweating all the time. That would be a problem. Because it's so humid here, mold can be a problem, especially in your apartment. If you're in an apartment that is a little bit older, and it doesn't have good circulation or ventilation, then you can have a mold problem. So that's another issue. Or your clothes can get that mildewy smell in it if you have that problem. So that can be an issue as well. And if you just are one of those people that just like a cool, crisp environment, this would not be the area for you. They have some areas in Panama that do have a cooler environment, but Panama City will not be it. Another con is that things move a lot slower here, and you have to learn how to deal with their pace of things. Um, it gets frustrating. I mean, because I've had an experience where I've ordered some furniture and I was supposed to get it one day, I didn't get it that day, didn't get it the next day, all the way to the next week. And, they were, we're going to bring it, making excuses and all that. And my patience was very thin, but they don't move at the pace that we move. They work on their own time frame. So you just kind of have to learn how to deal with that. A type personalities, we need to adjust that a little bit, because I was that type of person. A personality, most nurses are. And I still have a problem sometimes with the slow pace of things, but it is what it is. It's like if you know you're going to be here and this is where you decide to be, then you have to kind of pack your patience and realize it's not going to run like it does in the US. It's just not going to. So your expectations, you need to manage your expectations and your flexibility so that you won't get yourself to a uproar. Just make sure you prepare for that. Infrastructure is a little bit different. So they have different things that may happen. The internet may go down, what else, power outages, those type of things. But honestly, since I've been here, I have not had a major power outage since we've been here. There are other areas that I've heard of that had major power outages and water issues, but fortunately for us, we have not had that problem. We have been into, this is our second apartment building, and neither one of those apartment buildings had major power outages. I think in our first building, we did have the power go out one time, and they have a community area where the power was still on. So you would go to the community area and sit there until the power comes on. In this building per se, I have not had that issue, so I pray that that doesn't happen. But if it does, we do have a social area where we can go to, and then the fact that I do know a lot of people here now, um, I have avenues to be able to have someone help me where that wasn't the case before. The traffic and the road, some of the roads in the area, the traffic and the way the driving and stuff like that is wow. I just don't even know how to put that into words. If you're from New York, you might understand just a tiny, tiny bit. But the way they drive here is there is like no rules. Like everybody just it's like a all for self type of deal here. That they very seldom have stop signs. The yields, I've never seen a yield sign. They may have turn. They might have a what is it, a roundabout, and it may have three lanes in the roundabout, and people coming from the inner lane trying to get off the roundabout all the way to the right. They cross over every lane. I mean, it's bananas. And we have a car. My husband does all the driving. I do not drive. I would think I would have a nervous breakdown. I don't even get behind the wheel. But he's able to manage it. He's adapted to the style of driving. I would just say walking and crossing the streets, just watch yourself because it's not like being in the States where the pedestrian has the right of way here. I don't see that being the case. So you might try to cross the street and somebody may not stop for you. So you really want to watch what you're doing with the traffic. And then the walkability where I live is a good area. We have pretty even roads, but some of these roads here, you can really get hurt walking. They have some areas have holes in the ground, stuff sticking up, all kind of stuff. So that is part of the infrastructure that I did leave off. Another con is that this place can feel a little bit transactional. Um, 9 months is a long time, but it's not so long where I can say that, oh, everything is super smooth and I'm done. I really don't know. Things change every day. So there's still a feeling of it's home, but it's not. You feel comfortable, but you still realize that this is not where you're from. So you still have that kind of uneasiness feeling. You do, or at least I do, kind of miss some of the things about being in the US. And it's not necessarily the US itself. It may just be more of a comfort level of being around the people that I grew up with, being around the people that I'm comfortable with, being in the areas that I'm comfortable with. So, you have access to your family, but you feel a little bit disconnected just because you're not there. And the more time you spend here, it becomes a little bit more significant. For me, that is the case. I really miss my kids and just being able to see them kind of when I want to see them. I do talk to them on the phone, but it's not the same as being able to actually go to their house and sit with them and talk with them. And then I have parents. My husband have parents, and so we kind of miss just being able to be that close to them. Um, so those are some of the cons for me. All right. So who would be good for Panama and these, like if you wanted to just come here with it, the good people. So for being here for 9 months, I would say people who are wanting to try expat life, Panama is good because it's a soft landing. So if you want to just see what it's like to live in another country, Panama is a good choice. If you're wellness focused or fitness focused, Panama is a good choice for you because they have a lot of outside activities, a lot of good eating, a lot of good food. And I actually left that off of the pros, the eating, the food, but they have good access. If you are a content creator, Panama is good because they have the scenic views and all of, if you want to do any kind of YouTube like what I'm doing now, or any kind of content creator or creating, Panama is good for you. People who are trying to redefine their lives and they want to start over, this is a good area for you. And anyone craving like space and room to breathe, just a calm environment. You just want peace. You just want things to slow down a little bit so you can think. Panama is an excellent place for you to come and enjoy your life and your time. It gives you room to slow down and just really think about what's important. So Panama is good for those things. So my final truth about Panama is that it's not perfect by no means, but it is powerful and it is a good place to live if you're able to deal with what's going on here. You all over again, after 9 months, and the answer is yes, I would. The experiences has been phenomenal for me. Just the location, just the room for me to be able to breathe, the room for me to not be stressed every day, the availability of healthy living. Um, I've just enjoyed everything. Now I do miss, my family and everything, but for the most part, I would do it again. Um, yeah, I would make that decision all over again. So for Panama, it was an excellent choice for us. I will do another review in about a year so that I can see if I still feel the same. Because, like I said, things change every day, situations change, and I may not feel like that in 2 months. I may not feel like that in a month. But for right now, I would do it all over again. And I have friends who are considering moving here, and I would say to them, go for it. Just go for it. Get here and see how you like it. Nothing is permanent, right? So if things do not work out, just always have a plan. You can always, if it's, there's no failure in it. So like if you decide that you get here and it's not for you, then you can always leave. You know, just make the best decision for you and your family. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you on the next episode. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you next time. Bye.